What's going on, guys? Welcome to another one of Black Iron's battles. You see we got Wurrzhag here. We've got some Total War Warhammer 2, Rise of the Tomb Kings, 1 versus 1 quick battles for you. And you can see I have taken the Greenskins and I am facing off against my mortal nemesis, the Lizardmen. Now, I don't know if you guys play a lot of Greenskins, but if you do, you'll face off against the Lizardmen pretty frequently, just because they have a lot of large, a lot of large dinos and stuff like that. And there's not a lot of options. I mean, there's no dedicated halberd units for the orcs. I mean, they do have the Big Uns, which do have an anti-large bonus of it's 8. So I mean, it gives them an R-rate, R-rate attack against large units, but it is not the same thing as having some halberds. Either way, for my army, you can see I've got one group of nasty skulkers up on the right flank and one vanguarded there on the left flank. And I was kind of hoping that I would kind of catch maybe some skink cohort or communion skinks or something out on the flanks. And also they, sometimes you get some ranging cold one riders or, some sort of units over there. Besides that, here in the front line, we've got a ton of Big Uns. And like I mentioned, they do have some anti-large bonus. So they're my front line there, and they should hopefully be able to help take down some of those Saurus. Besides that, we've got a Goblin Big Boss on the left, and I believe we have a second Goblin Big Boss over here on the right, and he has mixed the Goblin Big Boss right in there. You see him, oh man, where'd he go? He's mixed in there right in the middle of this big group of Orc Boar Boy Binuns, and I actually tossed some chevrons into these Boar Boy Binuns. So they've got a few 3 chevrons on them, and put together with the poison from that Goblin Big Boss, they'll be a terror for any ranging Lizardmen units. So because I've got 2 big bosses, that's why I've got Wurrzhag here, and Wurrzhag, the Great Green Prophet, he's dancing, he's having a blast, just like always. And you see I have brought Fists of Gork, and I've also brought Here We Go. So I didn't bring the Foot of Gork this time. I brought Effigy of the Git, of course, and, we've got Wurrzhag's Revenge, War Pain, etc., etc. And that should be pretty good. So for my archers, I've only got Mogrub's Magi Marauders for their armor piercing, as well as the Rusty Airs for that armor sundering, and put them together with these 2 groups of Black Orcs and these 2 groups of Regiment of Renowned Night Goblins that you never see me without. Then that pretty much makes up my entire army. Over here for my opponent's Lizardman army, you can see he's just got all sorts of big beastly units. He's got those Kroq Gars right there in the middle. Look at them. Oh, they look so cool. I just love the Aztec theme of the Lizardmen still. He's got this Bastilladon with the solar engine. He's also got Kroq Gar there on top of Grimlock. And you see he does not have Hand of the Gods. So he's only got the swiftness and all the other sacred spawning and stuff like that, but no Hand of the Gods this time. You see up here in the air, he does have 2 groups of Terradon riders with the Fire Leech Bolas, and as you see, they're each carrying that rock that they can drop as well. And those units, actually, I was a little bit surprised to see. I don't see them as often, and it was kind of fun to see them up against me. So you saw the Kroq Gars. You also see there's a Skink Priest of Heavens right here, little guy on foot. Only 30 armor, not a lot of health, so he's going to have to be real careful with him. Here on the right, he's got the Pharaoh Bastilladon. He's also got some Saurus Spears and some Saurus Warriors here in the front. There's finally a group of Skink cohort right up in front here with their little guys with their shields, and they're probably to soak damage, and maybe in case I was, using a rock lobber or something, they'd soak that up. Either way, though, you see it's a pretty good army for me to face with these Greenskins. We've got the angry WAAAGH coming here, and we can watch them charge off there into battle against all those lizards on the hill. Take a panoramic view in here of just the Greenskins advancing in, and it is a sight to see. All right, we'll go ahead and take a look up top here. You see we've got 1,098 troops to his 527, so it is all going to be about him making sure to use those big troops to his advantage. All right, you can see both of my groups of nasty skulkers are kind of going to start moving in from the sides, but they're a little bit out of place. It's going to be a little bit harder to get them into place just because there was no ranging units, and but at the same time, because of their stock ability, he won't see them until they're very close. So they'll kind of be a surprise a little bit later in the match when they come in here with full strength. You can see the Lizardmen players positioning up here on the hill. We'll take a look here, and you can see the the all of the lizards lining up there, and boom, there are those fire leech bolas coming in here. And at the same time, we are taking shots with the rusty airs. You see, look at those rocks drop right onto all of those big uns. That big un group took a huge hit, but at the same time, on the passover, we got some good shots off of those Terradon riders as well. At the same time, here in the front line, we'll take a look. Those skink cohort are engaged here with some big uns, and the big uns will cut right through those skink cohort. You can see the Saurus warriors in the back are engaged in some big uns, and all of that frontline units are engaged. And once these warlords boys get in there, these units will get cut down really quickly. You see here that the Goblin Big Boss is engaged, giving poison units. And here in the back, these Terradon riders are going to be fighting against the Rusty Airs, and they're going to do some major damage. But at the same time, we still have Mogreb's Mangy Marauders, and we still have some Black Orcs in the back here, kind of protecting them. Here in the front line, you see we've got Here We Go, and that is going to allow these frontline units just to overwhelm the rest of those skinks, send them breaking. And here in the back, also, we do have the nasty skulkers engaged against these Saurus spears. So the Saurus spears are kind of engaged here. They've already taken some good damage, and the armor piercing ability of the nasty skulkers is going to get right through the 60 armor of those Saurus. Here in the back, you'll see the Kroq Gars are waiting for the perfect time to engage, and they're just holding their health. Oh, and there comes a big shot from that solar engine. At the same time, this group of nasty skulkers has finally got over here. And oh man, look at Kroq Gar just charging back and forth. You can see him on top of Grimlock there. Oh man, just jumping through the units. If we take a look here from above, you can see it's dead. Even though the skink cohort have routed off, we've taken some heavy hits on these big and front lines, and they're going down pretty quickly. Here in the back, this group of Terradon riders has finally been broken, and the second group I think also is broken as well. So that's going to allow me to kind of get some of these units in the back here. We're going to start moving them around. I think there's a big chain lightning coming, so we've got to get these Black Orcs out of the way. Mogrebs is actually now going to be able to start getting in, as well as the Rusty Airs, start getting involved in the middle. But the balance of power is still dead even. These Kroq Gars came and charged in, but at the same time, they were immediately poisoned, and these Black Orcs were able to countercharge that we had in the back. Wurrzhag as well, just dropping heavy spells. He dropped, here we go, we got Fists of Gork enabled, and that actually, I think it was over here on the AP Gloonies. At the same time, these Boar Boy Binuns have pulled out and are getting ready for another charge there on the flank. I was just trying to get my charge bonus to be enabled, and you see they're coming again here. Boom, here they come, charging right into the back of those skink cohort, and that's going to break them right off the field again, I bet. We've got some units returning from route over here in the back, and you see the Rusty Airs are against these Terradon Riders. The Terradon Riders had returned, but at the same time, the Rusty Airs are holding strong. They do have poison on their melee attack, and with the Mogrebs here in the back assisting them, they're able to actually break off both groups of Terradon Riders again. Same time, these huge units here, the Bastilladon Solar Engine is already up to 56 kills. You see it's just been blasting into the back. So you see the Skink Priest is here in the back. He's providing a lot of leadership buffs, and it's been difficult to stop Kroq Gar as well. You see we've got Wurrzhag here with another Here We Go, and Wurrzhag takes a big hit from Kroq Gar. So pretty much any time that Wurrzhag gets hit by Kroq Gar, it's going to take a big chunk of his health. Wurrzhag is not really comparable melee fighter. Here in the back, you see we do have our Night Goblin archers, our Rusty Airs, Mogrebs, Mangy Marauders starting to shoot in here. And when they start shooting in here with this Feral Bastilladon, which is also surrounded by Black Orcs, you see the health is going to start dropping pretty quickly. It reduced the armor only to 110, but at the same time, the armor piercing of these Black Orcs will help out a lot. Here in the back, you'll see these Boar Boy Binuns getting right in here. They've got Fists of Gork on them. And you see right in here, these boars are in here just smacking down Temple Guards. So those Temple Guards are broken from that big charge. And the balance of power is finally starting to head in my favor. You can see the Feral Bastilladon is also broken off. Here in the back, we do have Kroq Gar fighting with against some Big Uns and Wurrzhag here. Let's get a closer look in there. And you see Kroq Gar is just smacking down whatever he can hit. He is surrounded there. You saw we put the Mogrebs, Mangy Marauders have run out of ammo there, so they were able to charge in there. And Kroq Gar's got to get out of there because he was completely surrounded. He's got the the Goblin Big Boss and the Spider there chasing him as well. And that guy will keep applying poison. And he doesn't do a bad amount of damage. You'll see he actually Kroq Gar is starting to take some heavy hits, and that is going to break him. So you see he is actually finally shattered, and I think that's just about it. We've got some big shots coming in. We had a lot of armor piercing surrounded that other Bastilladon there. We had Wurrzhag there, and these rusty arrows were in the back there. And that was just a great battle. I mean, it was a ton of fun. And you saw just the sheer power of the Mogrubs and the rusty arrows up against those Terradon riders. I mean, those Terradon riders, if I hadn't had these two ranged units, they would have been nothing but trouble. They would have been wrecking all of my Black Orcs. But since I was able to kind of fight them, I kept the Black Orcs in reserve in the back there to keep them from doing too much damage in melee. If they had dropped down, they would have really been smashed quickly by those Black Orcs, and it really kind of negated those Terradon riders for the majority of the match. At the same time, there wasn't much I could do about that Bastilladon until we finally managed to take down this front line. So he was able to get 100 kills. You see there's another 100 on the Temple Guards, which are just always a strong unit. And I think that one of the big problems, those Kroq Gars went down really quickly. When they got there in the middle and they got their charge off, we were able to kind of get a counter charge. Black Orcs were able to do some good damage. You see, we also got, I mean, just Big Uns across the board, getting a couple hundred kills. And those Saurus warriors were not a match for the Big Uns with the support of the Nasty Skulkers on the flanks and the Warlords boys. Nasty Skulkers was 61 kills. I mean, these guys are not too expensive, and they got a huge number of kills against the Saurus spears. That is just kind of a great unit for them to be fighting against. And, you know, it worked out pretty well to my advantage. The Boar Boy Binuns were able to get in the back, 51 kills. They weren't able to do as well as I had hoped, but I was able to use their anti-large abilities a little bit in the back to my advantage. We were able to smack them in a few different times and really just cause some havoc. And you saw the two big bosses, obviously. They peak loonies, always getting their kills off. I did shoot some fanatics down the front line. I wasn't able to showcase that, but overall, it was just a pretty good showing from the Greenskins against one of their natural enemies, the Lizardmen, who did actually bring a lot of large units this time. You saw Kroq Gar, 42 kills, only 9 on that Skink Priest of Heavens. So I think probably when I bring the Skink Priest of Heavens, I normally like to bring fat damage spells. I don't know if he just wasn't able to get them off, but overall, great game to my opponent, AsWolf700. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. Check me out a little bit later this week. We'll have some more Blood Bowl action. We'll have some more arena action. So I had a really busy weekend. I wasn't able to get up too many videos, but I do appreciate you guys' support. Tell your friends, come over, take a look, subscribe below for more great online content. This is Black Iron, and this has been another one of Black Iron's Battles.